All right, are we going to pause quickly for station identification? Or we just did it.
Already did it.
All right. See, I'm behind. I'm 15 seconds slower than you. So we had Temple getting a low, Heritage get the middle, and Falls A gets the high. So wow, I'm going to be honest. This tournament is not going the way that I necessarily thought it would go.
That's tough. That's Temple's first low, right? First low of
yes. The day? But if that score can't be right because that quiz was Falls, Temple, and FBCLB, right?
Let's find out. See if it's up in the. That's not listed there for what round that is on this tweet.
That doesn't. Well, we just had that quiz in the auditorium.
Oh, there's our. Can we get our scorekeeper's attention, Matt? No, I don't think so. He's focused. He's ready to eat. I think this is their break for lunch. So
hey, Matt, who was in that quiz that just happened?
Our quiz was upstairs.
Oh, he was okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Well, we're. Okay, Temple, High, Falls, Middle. That sounds a little bit more like it.
Yeah, that sounds.
Temple, High, Falls, Middle, and FPCLB with the low. That sounds about right.
That would finish out the.
That would make a lot more sense if we had the three teams who are actually quizzing in the event, as the. If the teams quizzing in the event are the teams that actually place in said event, that makes a lot more sense. So okay. All right.
Woodside, is that Woodside's second and low? Looks like Woodside's last remaining team.
If Woodside got a low,
finished.
that is in fact their second low. Yeah, they got a low to Heartland and to Mountain View. Mountain View. Anyway, so okay, after this round, there were let's pull up the schedule here. We're going to have an elongated lunch break, so you're going to get to hear from us for quite a bit, which is not the best way to go because, as you can see, we don't really necessarily know what we're doing. We're actually going to talk for about half an hour. We got 2 quizzes going on. When those quizzes are over, we're going to have Pastor Scott's going to give a challenge, something he does every year. He does a great job. He challenges the kids, does a good job, and he's right now getting prepped for that when his quiz is over. So we're going to get down. After this quiz, there will be 8 teams in each group. Yes. And there will be 3 of those without a loss and 5 of those with a loss. What's happening right now are the 2 quizzes of the teams without lows, both elite and Division 2.
Division 2, yeah.
So when we get those scores, we'll let you know. But the last 3 teams in it. Here, let's go to the other thing so we can get scores and we can do math for you on the fly. But we have Mountain View with the high win. Okay, I got to go to. They don't label them as Division 2, which sometimes can confuse people who aren't smart like myself. Heartland got the middle, and with the low you got Woodside Blue finally succumbing to low. They did very well. I mean, they survived 5 quizzes.
The longest surviving Woodside team of the tournament.
That's true. So, and we should have results from Quiz O at some point, which should be Tri-City Senior High, Faith, Canoga Park, and Mukwonago. Tri-City Senior High, Faith, Canoga Park, and Mukwonago. So, and apparently you don't want to just stay there.
No.
You like to move around. It's the same material, but you want to move around.
Yeah,
okay.
You never know.
So let's go back. We had Temple with the high win. Who got the middle and who got the low?
I'm getting word from people in our room that Tri-City ended up with the low in their quiz.
Okay. Do we know who got the high? Was it Faith, Canoga Park, or Mukwonago?
My source just turned away. Faith ended up with the high.
Faith got the high? Okay. So we got them with the high. Mukwonago with the middle, and Tri-City with the low.
Second low. So Tri-City.
So we have
both teams are out now,
and this is pretty cool. The top 8 teams in Division 2 are the 8 teams
that
still
are
alive.
left. Yes.
And the top 3 teams just are probably still having a quiz. We have Falls
Uh-huh.
JV, Heritage Mission JV, Temple JV. The 2 survivors of that quiz will get to quiz FPCLB JV.
Yes.
You like that FPCLB?
JV.
JV, yeah. FPCLB JV. So we have, that. So we have 4 teams left, but that quiz is in. It's happening right now.
Yeah, happening right now up above us.
Right.
In the right loft.
Okay, so the winner of Quiz P is going to, and so the only teams that are going to quiz right now, that are quizzing right now, are teams without lows, and they're quizzing they're both quizzing downstairs in the children's room and the toddler's room.
Yes.
And if you're not here, doesn't
mean
matter much
anything
to you. But they're rooms for young people.
Yes.
They're not old guy Sunday school
No.
rooms. No, they're youthful Sunday school rooms. So.
Now I have a question for you.
Okay.
We're talking about the rooms. Question brought up earlier by a viewer. How do you think the size of the building, the tight quarters that we have, affects quizzers?
I don't know. I don't know that it affects quizzers. Here's what I'll say. It affects the viewing experience.
Definitely.
I have taught for a good number of years. I've taught classes. And I went to teacher training several times. And one of the things they tell you in teacher training is, if you have a big room that seats 100 people and only 20 people are going to be there, they're going to spread out. They said, and people will think that's more comfortable, but it's actually a worse experience for them. What you want is you want to take away 80 chairs and make them all sit close together. And my mentality was, oh, that's crazy. They said, well, have you ever been at a comedy club? And they said, okay, maybe. And when you go there, are people sitting close together or are they spread out?
Mm-hmm.
Always close together.
Wow.
Your mind triggers when you're in tighter quarters. You elevate the experience and think it's a better time. So for the fans being in tight quarters, we may say, I hate being in tight quarters. But scientifically speaking, people's brains will attach more enjoyment to it later. Okay, go back to that score. We had a score.
That's just
That's the
auditorium.
Oh, the quiz. We already knew about that. We watched that. So
a little late.
Who got it was Temple with the high?
Yes.
Falls with the middle?
Falls A. And first, FBCLB.
FBCLB.
Yeah.
With
40,
the low.
tight quiz there, 140, 120, 100.
Well, that's pretty close, and they got to see it, and that's good. So we now have 3 teams left with no low. That would be Temple, who's quizzing right now, and the quiz number is 14. It will be Temple, Hillsdale, and Falls A. Mm-hmm. Temple, Hillsdale, and Falls A. So those 3 teams. If you had those 3 as the final 3 teams without a low, you were onto something.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it looks like we have Peyton Manning joining us. So, Mr. Manning.
Kentucky with high, Kettle mid, Falls.
I didn't know Mr. Manning was a Bible quiz fan, but it's nice to know.
I do appreciate that. We those who are attached with the chat see that Peyton Manning put Kentucky with the high, and who had the middle?
Falls B. No, Kettle had the middle. Falls B had the low.
Okay. So Falls B has been eliminated.
New York mom tells us that straight from the coach, New York had a high and knocks out South Carolina.
So we have Calvary, South Carolina, or
that's what
I guess they were in that quiz. Well, the other 2 teams were both from South Carolina, so it's very difficult to determine. Yeah, South Carolina eliminated. There's 2 teams from South Carolina.
South Carolina.
So you've really not really told us anything. But we Tom, okay. All right, but so we do know, we have it on relatively good authority that Heritage Mission got that high. So they're one of the 5 teams. There's 5 teams with no low. We have someone who may know who got the middle.
Sam, who had the
low?
middle?
You mean for my team?
Yeah, from your quiz.
Yes.
Would be, Bethel got middle.
Okay, Bethel Calvary got the middle.
And
Calvary got the low. So Calvary has been eliminated.
South Carolina, it is
so
out.
There's another team that Poston can't coach.
Yeah, Poston's not coaching, period, no matter who.
Well,
who
there may be another team that tries to recruit him.
Yeah,
we'll
see who talks him into it.
So, okay, we have 5 teams with a low. Those teams are Heritage Mission, Bethel Calvary, Kettle Moraine, FBCLB, and Pleasant View. And there's a 3-team quiz right now of the last 3 teams without a loss. That would be Temple, Hillsdale, and Falls A.
Yes.
The low winner of that quiz and those other 5 teams I just mentioned are going to quiz after the challenge. So we're having a little lunch break here. I mean, it's a lunch break for them. We have to work.
It's a working lunch for us.
This is what happened. I walked in and they said, "West, it's lunchtime, but you don't get to eat lunch. You got to talk." And I said, "But I want to eat lunch." And they said, "You'll survive. You got enough fat. You can live another hour without food." So anyway, okay. So these are the teams, and let's look at this. Pleasant View has a very pleasant surprise. They lost the very first quiz out of the chute. Quiz 1, I believe it was seen on CI2015.
It was
a good quiz. They quizzed well, but Athens got the middle in that, and the high one went to Falls A. Falls A is still around without a low, and Athens lost their next 2 quizzes.
Yeah.
But Pleasant View took that quiz, then they got a middle, and now they've gotten a high, and they are one of the top 8 teams. One of the top 8 teams. So, I mean, we have a really good field. If we get updates on the quiz between Temple, Hillsdale, and Falls A, we will let you know. That's going to set the scene for the elite division. Now, we also have Division 2, and we don't know what happened in Quiz N, but I think we just got it. That's Quiz N. Or no, we have Quiz N. We don't have Quiz Q. Quiz Q, which is in the right loft. So, and in that quiz we had Temple, JV. Who else is in that quiz?
Was it Temple, Fall, and Heritage?
Mission, and Falls. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can get that.
Yeah, nothing from that yet. Doesn't look like.
It looks like we don't have that. Okay. So we're still waiting on the Temple, Falls, and Heritage Division 2 quiz, and if anyone knows what happened there, of those teams, one of them will get a low, and the other 2 will quiz against FBCLB JV.
Yes.
Then those 3 teams will quiz, and there will be 5 teams left of the loss. The team that just got the loss: Faith Canoga Park, Mukwonago, Mountain View, and Heartland. Mountain View and Heartland. So, and those will be Quiz S&T. Again, those losers bracket quizzes. There will not be another team eliminated before Pastor Scott's challenge.
No, there will
so
not.
We're down to 8 teams, the top 8 teams in the elite division, the top 8 teams in the crazy, or the Division 2. Someone writing on my paper here.
Yeah.
So let's recap. Division 2, we had Woodside Red, Woodside White, Tri-City Junior High were the first 3 eliminated. Then we had Abilene, Woodside Blue, and Tri-City Senior High eliminated. So those are the teams that have been eliminated. Those 6. It's kind of gone to form. I mean, you may have suspected the highs and middles and all that to be distributed differently.
Well, go
back to the elimination.
We just got an update from the Falls JV, Heritage, and Temple.
And Temple. Okay, so Temple got the low?
Yes, Temple takes the low.
That's probably the quiz where we didn't know what it was coming from. Okay, so we have Falls with the high in Quiz Q.
Heritage just 10 points behind with the mid.
Quiz Q. And then Temple loses Quiz Q. So Temple's taking a lunch break, and then these 2 teams are in Quiz R.
Quiz R against
FBCLB.
JV.
JV. FBCLB JV. So, and so we have 5 teams with a low. That'd be Temple, who just got one, Faith Canoga Park, Mukwonago, Mountain View, and Heartland. Let's look at the page that's not torn. Let's set the stage for who are going to be in those 2 quizzes after lunch in each quiz. So, the high of Quiz P, which would be Mountain View, is going to be in Quiz S. The middle of Quiz O at Mukwonago is in Quiz S. And then whoever loses that last winner's bracket quiz. And then in Quiz T, we're going to have Temple JV. We're going to have Faith of Canoga Park. And we're going to have middle quiz. We're going to have Heartland. So Heartland, Temple JV, and Faith Canoga Park will quiz after lunch. And in the other quiz, we know 2 of those teams will be let's see, who do we know they'll be? I should know this. Mukwonago and Mountain View, and then it's going to be loser of the quiz, Falls, Heritage Mission, and FBCLB JV.
JV, yes.
FBCLB JV.
Good quiz.
Yes. So, okay, Jono, we talked preview. We did a recap on Friday night. Which of these teams, being where they're at, let's not talk about the negative. We know who to blame there. But which of these teams doing as well as they have has surprised you?
In Division 2?
Division 2, we'll start there, yes.
I'll be honest, I was a little surprised to see Heartland still hanging in, making it halfway through the day.
I think they started to improve after you interviewed their pastor.
I think so.
That was the key.
Maybe it was the airtime that he needed to give the team the boost.
I think that's what it is.
Since
the pastor,
CI2015 will take credit.
Let's be honest. Since Heartland was interviewed on CI2015, they went from being where they were about 11th place. They moved up in the seeding. They have stayed alive in the elimination. I think we can give credit to you interviewing their pastor.
And really, credit goes to himself for making me interview him.
Yes. Well, I think he mentioned wanting to be interviewed. I asked him, would you like Jono to interview you? And he said, yes.
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 He was disappointed I didn't interview him last year. But
yeah. But he said he'll come back next year if we interview him again.
All right. Well, hey.
We've got one interview locked in for next year.
So, yeah, it's been good to see Heartland. We talked a little bit how they don't have a whole lot of competition. The tournaments that they go to.
They're from Nebraska, if I'm not mistaken.
Uh-huh.
Park Avenue has owned that state for a while.
But it's nice to see them. He told us that they've been able to claim their state competition the last several years.
Yeah. Has it been 3 years?
I believe so. I think 3 years is what he said. Do fairly well at the Mid-America tournament at the end of the year. And so it's good to see all that hard work, all that time that they've put in and learning from other tournaments paying off here for them today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's Division 2. 3 teams from California are in the top 8. Faith Canoga Park, Mountain View, and then FBCLB JV.
Yes.
FBCLB JV. That we got to really get that. We got to start making that part of the common Bible quiz vernacular.
FBCLB JV.
Well, the JV part is not always the case because they're a high school team.
So FBCLB.
FBCLB, yeah. So 3 of the top 8 teams are California. I think that we hear, if you're from Wisconsin, I think if you're real quiet, you can hear footsteps. California's catching you. They're not there yet, but they're coming. They're coming, and they've got you on their sights, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think California very well could become the quiz state.
Yeah,
but they have.
Unfortunately, since my state seeded it a couple years ago, we don't take ownership of trying to win that title back like we should. we were like, hey, we can just quiz locally. We don't need to go. No, you got to go. You got to go prove yourself.
Come travel. Come.
That's right.
Come get the experience.
Hillsdale does it. They do a good job, but the rest of the teams in our state, including mine, it's not that we stink. It's that we don't go places. We don't go prove ourselves, and so you can't give Florida any credit for that. Wisconsin caught us. They passed us. But if you're Wisconsin, listen for those footsteps.
Yes.
Because I think California's catching you.
Yes.
3 of the top 8 teams. Speak of, there he is. We were just commenting how ever since you were interviewed by Mr. Parker here, your team has not been eliminated.
He agrees.
All right.
Heartland's coach agrees with the.
We've got you locked in for an interview next year, right? All right.
He said, "I want 4 interviews."
He's like, my team's not coming, but I'll be here. I'll be interviewed. All right. Let's go to the Elite Division, and we have 8 teams left there, 5 teams with a loss, and we haven't lined up those quizzes after lunch, so let's look at Quiz 15. You got the high from 12, which will be Pleasant View. So Pleasant View is going to be in Quiz 15. We have the middle of 13, which is going to be Bethel Calvary.
The low of
and whoever
14.
loses that quiz that's going on right now.
Yes.
And then in Quiz 16, we've got the low of Quiz 11. That would be FBCLB. We've got the high of Quiz 13, which would be Heritage Mission. And the middle of Quiz 12, Kettle Moraine. So we have Kettle Moraine, FBCLB, and Heritage Mission. So that'll be the bracket on one side. That'll be the quiz that will not be on CITV in Mr. Ledlow's room downstairs. The quiz that will be on CITV will include the low winner of whoever's of the teams quizzing now, which, to recap, those teams are Temple, Hillsdale, Falls A. And the low winner of that quiz will quiz, Bethel Calvary and Pleasant View. So, again, we're at 8 teams. We will not eliminate any more teams before we have. We're kind of in a lunch break right now.
Before
we are
the
not
message.
in a lunch break, but
yeah. Someone asked about First JV. You must have just now joined us. We were talking about that.
FPCLB
JV.
First JV. I assume you're talking about First Baptist Church of Long Beach. Is that right?
That's what I'm assuming. First JV.
That's the only. And so they're
quizzing
right now against Falls and Heritage JV. And
three
those
teams
are the
remaining
3 final teams without a loss.
Yes.
So
Matt, you got a hello coming from Mr. Self.
He wants to know what's up. I think he's been in this room before, and he knows it's that drop ceiling right there.
Yeah. He's seen it.
Yeah, he should have.
I mean, Matt, I wish he needs to come. I mean, I see his son here, and his daughter's been pretty active on the chat room.
Okay,
but hey,
Falls
Brian,
B has been eliminated. Yes, Falls B has been eliminated with a question. What about Falls B? They just lost in that last quiz to Kettle Moraine and Pleasant View, and that was their second low, and they have been eliminated. And it looks like no, it doesn't. They are definitely 9th place.
Yep,
ninth
place.
The best B team in the country.
Yeah, we could give them that.
Well,
the only B team at the tournament.
That's right. If you want to prove your chops as a B team, you've got to come beat Falls B team. There's coach of FPCLB, and they are, as we said, going to quiz in quiz 16, which is the quiz you will not see right after the lunch charge. I call it a charge. What is that? Is that what Pastor Scott calls it? His challenge, his charge.
His challenge.
His challenge.
Challenge.
That's if we say charge, it sounds too much like a
lunch and
basketball
challenge.
term. Okay, fair enough.
So that's what the schedule calls it.
Okay.
I don't know if Pastor Scott would give it a title.
Okay, well, I mean, he doesn't need to. So, of the 8 teams left, you got Temple, Heritage Mission. You got the teams without a loss: Temple, Hillsdale, Falls A, and then you got the teams with a loss: Heritage, Bethel Calvary, Kettle Moraine, FBCLB, and Pleasant View. Which has surprised you the most?
I'd probably say Pleasant View, hanging in there. Like you said, they came out first quiz of the
elimination tournament,
taking a loss, but then really grabbing hold. Okay, we're not over yet. Let's refocus. Let's come back.
Yeah,
and let's ride it out.
My dad used to coach Bible quizzing, and he retired after 1996. And then about 3 years later, the school lost their quiz coach middle of the year, whatever. He went to, and they asked my dad if he would coach the rest of the year. So he coached a team. Like after he retired, like 3 years later, came back for one quiz team. And that team at AACS, we were having, problems with equipment in the other 3 rooms. But Dr. Knapp's room started at like 7:55. And Dr. Knapp speeds through those quizzes at 8:03. No other room had started their first quiz, and my dad's team had lost. So they were the only team with a loss, and no other. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like just a matter. It was the next round of quizzes before any team
had started.
Any other team got a loss. So they were the first team to lose. They came back and got 5th place. And I remember my dad saying he felt like that was one of his best accomplishments because of that early loss. So I think we can give some credit to Pleasant View, that early loss on CITV, coming back, getting a high win, or a middle win, which eliminated Athens, and then getting a high win, which eliminated Falls B, which we were just asked about. So someone wants you to put on a yellow shirt. Is there
I'm
something
assuming
to
this
that?
is Josh Brown. Am I correct?
How would I know?
This sounds like you wouldn't. Yeah.
So, okay.
But Josh, thanks for joining us online. Unfortunately, the yellow shirt has been retired, but we will always remember and have that memory shared together.
Yeah, this is a rare instance where we have about 30 to 45 minutes to talk, and not we don't have a quiz coming up. The next thing we have coming up is the challenge.
Yes, and
so we're talking about where we're at. So this is a rare opportunity for you to ask questions that we will answer quick fire. If you type it into the chat room, we will answer questions. If there's someone you want us to interview, like if you want us to track down Sawyer Baggett over there, we can try to do that.
I have heard a request for Sawyer.
Sawyer Baggett?
I have. You want to
come
over
talk
here?
to us?
He looks like he's getting ready for lunch. He's
here he
putting
comes.
the plate down.
So asking you shall receive. I get a. Let's get an interview with the coach from FPCLB.
Hey, it's
Will.
turning into a thing.
Is that Will Yanes? Hey, all right, I'm going to try to go get Carl, but first we're going to give the microphone to Sawyer Baggett, one of the top quizzers from Tennessee, Temple from Tennessee's JV team. Have the seat.
All right, Sawyer, how's it going, man?
Pretty good.
How's your day been?
We have 2 middles, 1 low, and all the rest were highs.
So that's a good day? Good day for you?
Yeah.
How many? Is this your first or second time coming to the tournament?
Third.
Third time coming to the tournament. Coming to this tournament this year, I've been here 2 years before. What were you looking forward to the most?
Probably Heritage Mission.
Quizzing against or seeing them?
Quizzing against.
Quizzing against Heritage Mission. How has that been for you? How many times have you faced them in a quiz?
2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times, and how did those go?
Once we got a low to them, and then the next time we got a middle to them.
So tough quizzes. What will it take to turn that around?
Teamwork and just staying focused.
Staying focused. So what's your favorite thing besides the quizzing? Outside of the quizzing, what's your favorite thing about this tournament?
Well, it's good competition, and it's one of the best tournaments that there are.
Awesome. So do you think the depth of this tournament is greater, equal to any of the other tournaments you go to all year round?
Yes.
Awesome. That's why this is one of the best tournaments of in the country every year. So we've been asking people. You've been studying the book of Matthew. When did you start studying?
The beginning of 2014.
So beginning of 2014. So you've been studying it for a little over a year now. What has been one, if you can pick one passage or lesson that has stuck out to you the most?
Matthew 5:44.
What does that say for those of us that don't have the whole book memorized?
But I say unto you, love thine enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
So what does that mean to you? How has that changed the way you go through today?
Just don't be mad if you get a loss or a really hard team. Just give glory to God and have good fellowship.
Amen. So would you say that you have any enemies here? Even Heritage Mission? Friendly rivals?
Yeah.
Able to pray for them? Hey, awesome. Sorry, thanks for stopping in with us. I appreciate talking to you. Best of luck through the rest of the day. Go get some lunch. Enjoy.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Sawyer Baggett, everyone. Thank you so much. I think I have someone else wanting to join me, Ashley Hill from Pleasant View. Let me give you some sound. Ashley, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. How's the day been for you guys?
It was a little iffy at first. We got a low our first round, and then we had 2 buys, and then we got a middle, and then we came out on a high. And so I think our team's like really, happy.
What do you think? We talked about that a little bit, seeing how you guys started out strong, or started out not quite as strong as you would like, and then able to turn it around. What did it take to turn that around for you guys?
Well, it takes a lot of team effort.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of the first quizzes we weren't really together as a team, but now that Miss Mascal keeps telling us y'all can do it, you can work together as a team, and I think that once we put our mind to it, so we can really do a lot of things, accomplish a lot.
Awesome. So is there anyone you wanted to give a shout out to?
Yes, I would like to say hi to my mom and my dad and Isaac and my 2 sisters, Emily and Abby. And then I'd like to say hi to Miss Thrin, who's really our scorekeeper, but she wasn't able to be here. And I'd like to say hi to Allison, who's her daughter. I miss you all.
Awesome. This is like the Price is Right wheel going on here, giving our shout-outs. All right, Ashley, before we let you go, we've been asking everyone that comes in, you've been studying the book of Matthew for how long? When did you start studying?
I probably started around last April.
Last April, so almost a year now you've been studying. What is one passage or lesson or verse that has stuck out to you the most?
Well, I was watching Sawyer do his interview, and I had already thought of this verse and like the love your enemies and stuff, and I think about all those who like do me wrong, and I'm like, you just can't help but feel like, oh, I don't want to do so much stuff to them, or I'm gonna get even. But those verses have really helped in that we're all equal and we need to treat others the same.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping in, Ashley. Good to see you. Best of luck to you guys through the rest of the day.
Thank you.
All right. Matt Gillette, come take a seat. We've had some requests to hear from you. As he walks away. Oh, hey.
All right, well,
worth a shot.
Well, Coach Carl from FPC LB, we talked to him, and he says he'll come after he talks to his team.
Beautiful,
so
beautiful.
I have no idea how long that could take.
We want a Zemer.
Yes,
I don't see any Zemers. I just saw some.
I don't think anyone would quibble. I do see a couple McMines. Maybe we could get some of them to join us. I would love to grab a McMine.
I think there's only a couple McMine quizzers.
You want to talk to us? Like now?
Come on, bring it up. Bring on over.
Okay, they want to wait to eat.
Okay. That was our excuse. They didn't take it from us.
All right. Well, we would love to get a Zemer.
We're also getting several requests for Pastor Van Gelderen. If we can grab him.
Pastor Van Gelderen. I'd love to talk to Pastor Van Gelderen. You ready to go? All right. We have Kyle McMines.
All right, Kyle, come on over here, man.
All right, here you go.
Kyle, welcome to CI TV. Good to see you. I don't think we've actually met. I'm Jono. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, Kyle, tell me about how's the day been going for you?
Well, it went pretty well. We actually just got our second low, so.
The most recently hasn't been the best.
Most recently hasn't been the best.
So now we can talk about the tournament in hindsight. What did you think this year?
I thought the questions were just really, really hard. I think there were a lot more errors this year than have been for a long time. Honestly, you didn't see quite as many people quizzing out. And I think it's because of that reason there's just so many more errors.
You think Mr. Douglas really put his time into throwing some tough ones at you guys?
So.
All right. Well, so what do you think is your favorite part? How many years have you come to this tournament?
This is my second year.
This is your second year. So looking back on last year, seeing this year, what's been your favorite part of the tournament?
Well, for this year, I think I got to introduce the C friends here.
Okay, let's see the C friends.
So this one's Bobby, and
hold them up nice and
high.
There we go.
Okay, this one's Bobby, and this one's Drake, named in memory of obviously two sort of famous quizzers. That one wasn't originally. There's sort of a long story, but these have been our friends. There's only actually two people on my team, just me and my sister. So we brought our C friends along to just sort of be warm bodies beside us.
Be the warm bodies that
sort of encourage us along.
Matt West was saying in the preview that may be what you guys need is just warm bodies on the team, and there you go. And did I see a third one to fill out the 5 seats?
There's actually two more.
Two more. So which one's the sub?
Oh, the sub. Well, actually, we had two on one seat.
See, I don't know the legality of that, but
they're
we'll
really
roll
light,
with it.
So
we'll roll with it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we weren't sure either, but nobody really kicked us out for it.
Brought it up. Okay.
This one here is Cindy. This is a starfish. They're all puppets, by the way. So, oh, excuse me. This is Alice. I have just been corrected. This one's Alice.
And the seahorse is Cindy.
The seahorse is Cindy. That's correct.
Seahorse Cindy. That makes sense.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Did you feel like the warm bodies helped you out through last night and earlier this morning?
I think they did. I really think they did. And even Bobby here got a free question.
Bobby got a free question. Wow.
I gave him a free question, so that was pretty cool.
Well, that's fantastic. So you were in – this is the only practice questions, really the only real questions I was able to be a part of. First practice question of the day was, who is the NBA's all-time leader in assists? Did you know that answer?
I did not know that answer.
Did you know the capital of Florida?
Yes.
And that is?
Tallahassee.
Okay. Hey. All-time NBA assist leader. We'll see if somebody throughout the day will get that answer right. I'm going to hold on to that one.
Okay.
Okay, so tell me, are you staying for Monday?
I am staying for Monday.
Ski or snowboard?
Skiing.
How many times have you been?
This will be my 5th time skiing.
5th time?
So
you're going to crank down some black diamonds?
Yes.
Hey, fantastic.
Planning on it.
All right. Before we let you go, how long have you been studying the book of Matthew this year?
Well, I started as soon as the Squanit tournament was over in April.
So just under a year. What's been the biggest lesson you've learned from the book of Matthew?
I think one of the biggest things for me was the part with the centurion, where Jesus heals his servant, and just the amazing faith of this guy who came miles away and just had the faith that Jesus could heal him.
And seeing that great faith that Jesus said that he hadn't seen such great faith in all of Israel, how does that change the way you live today?
I would say just to remember that we can, even though Jesus isn't here and we can't just go up to him physically and ask him to heal somebody, we can have faith that he will do what we need him to do for us.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining me, Kyle. I appreciate it. You have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your trip.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Van Gelderen.
Pastor Van Gelderen, welcome. We've had several requests for you. Thank you, Tony. I've been waiting for someone to give me that answer. Pastor Van Gelderen, how many years have you been coming to this tournament?
This is our ninth.
Ninth year.
Yep.
How's their team look compared to teams in the past?
This is the best we've done at this point. We don't have a loss for our varsity A team, and our JV team doesn't have a loss as well. So it's been a good day.
So two fantastic teams you guys bring in with.
And our varsity B team did a great job.
Three fantastic teams. Two
right,
of them
they just got knocked out, so they did very well. They hung in.
Two of your three teams hanging out with no lows. That's
right.
A fantastic record to be holding right now.
Yes, we're encouraged.
What do you attribute those?
Well,
those
I attribute it to the fact that all year we've had a very intense memory and review program, and the young people have worked extremely hard, and there's been a tremendous spirit. We've also learned over these tournaments how to quiz. We've had a reputation for being too fast in the past, and we're learning to be measured and careful, and it's paying off.
Awesome. We had Matt West had brought up, we'd love to see you guys at more majors.
Right.
And we had talked a little bit about that. Hoping to see you guys at Squanit this year.
We will be there.
Awesome, fantastic. That's what we like to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the questions people were asking last night, they want to know, do most teams fly or drive? Do you guys fly or drive?
Our team flies out here. We come in on Wednesday and go to church here at Woodside Wednesday night, spend a day in the mountains on Thursday, and then prepare Friday and come to the tournament. We fly home tonight. Hopefully this tournament will get done in time for us to get home.
Awesome. A nice business trip come. What's been one of your favorite things outside of the tournament you've been able to enjoy?
It's really the people of Woodside. I mean, when we're here Wednesday night, when we're here for the service and the fellowship that we have, the people house us almost every year, and they've been so generous and kind, and we love this church, appreciate Pastor Scott and his focus on quizzing and Bible memory, and so we're always glad to come. We love Denver, of course. We love being here and seeing the scenery, but our biggest draw is the spirit of this church and its hospitality.
If you could pick one of those things that you just talked about, what do you think is the biggest thing that either you or your quizzers look forward to the most when they come to this tournament?
Well, I think they look forward to the challenge. Really, the teams that come out here, there is expense involved, and it's overall, especially in the elite division, we know that pretty much every team is going to be high level and be very challenging. So when it comes to just being honed in your quizzing skills and seeing where you're at, this tournament is a huge help that way, and so we like that fact, and we're glad to be a part of it.
Amen. All right, last question. We've been looking through the book of Matthew, looking through and thinking back. If you could pick one lesson, one passage or verse that sticks out to you the most, what would that be?
Well, one that I actually just preached to our church about not too long ago, and that is the Matthew 6 passage there, where it talks about the fact that we're not to lay up treasures on earth, but lay up treasures in heaven. And then really all the way through the end of that chapter, it teaches us what life's all about, not to worry about material things. When we do, our master is mammon. It's not God. And I'm just encouraged that when I have my eyes on Jesus and on heaven and eternal realities, God He is my master, and therefore I can expect Him to provide for me. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So that's one passage of many, of course, in Matthew.
Amen. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Pastor Van Gelderen. I really appreciate your time. best of luck to your remaining teams. We look forward to seeing them.
It looks like I just noticed on here I got something from my son, who's 6, says, "I love you, Daddy," right there. So
all right, would you like to say something back to him?
No,
definitely not.
It's to me. But yes, I guess some of my family's watching, and I've got my wife and my oldest daughter are here. She's 8 years old, but then everyone else is at home, and it looks like some are watching. So I have 4 more at home, and my wife's carrying one, so we have 6. So
Amen.
we're thrilled to be here, and hello back to the family at home. I love you too, Stephen.
All right, thank you so much.
All right. For those of you who are here, if you have already eaten, you need to start to make your way into the auditorium. Pastor Scott's going to be speaking. If you haven't eaten yet, do so with some expediency. We have 8 teams left in both divisions, 6 teams with a low, 2 teams without. The 2 teams who are part of the final 6, because those 6 teams with the low will quiz, and so there will be 6 teams left. In the Division 2 are Falls and FPCLB JV.
Mm-hmm. Those are the only teams left.
Those are the 2 teams with no lows. In the Elite Division, we have Hillsdale and Falls A with no low. And you just talked to the coach of half of those teams.
Yeah, Falls is telling me
right
what they Pastor Van Gelder was saying, just real intense on their memorization and their review, intense quoting sessions, it seems like. And I think we can both think back to those days, afternoons full of going back and forth.
Okay. I do see several people asking for a Zemer. We asked the coach of the Zemers, Roscoe, if he would come on, and he said, no, I've heard the camera ad's 40 pounds, then I saw you, I'm not going to do it. So
that sounds like a direct quote.
It's, if not word for word, it's pretty close. It's right there. So we did our best to get a Zemer, and that's that.
Matt, do you remember Tony?
I remember many Tonys. If you want me to know who you are, you're going to have to give me more than just the name Tony. But I do remember several Tonys. I can think of 4 or 5 right at the top of my head.
Okay.
So maybe.
Tony from Wisconsin.
Tony from Wisconsin. Okay. Yes, the Z-Fan, we're really, really sorry. We did our best. We tried to get Roscoe. He refused. I would get one of their quizzers who may be more likely to talk to us, but I think they're under lock and key. I think he's got them. I think they're quoting in a bathroom somewhere.
I believe that.
Yeah. So, again, for those of you who are sitting in the fellowship hall area, make your way to the auditorium if you have already eaten. We are about to hear Pastor Scott give his challenge, and we have been tasked with coaxing you in there. So please make your way in there. In terms of the tournament, we have 8 teams left. This is a great stopping point because you have the opportunity to have the 6 teams with a low quiz, and then they come in and quiz against the 2 teams with a high, without a low. Those 4 teams, 2 in Elite Division, 2 in Division 2, who don't have a low, are both are all in very, very good positions.
Yes.
They're going to be in the top 6, and then even if they lose their first quiz, it's likely someone will get eliminated in the other quiz, and so you're really looking at a situation where you are likely to be in the top 4 teams if you're one of those two teams without a low in each division. So those teams are really sitting in a good position, and we love it. That's a great position to be in. But that does not mean that a team that doesn't have a low right now is definitely going to win. There's quite possibly a situation where one of the teams who has a low would come back and win the tournament. So, did you want to talk to us, Dante? No, you just wanted to show us that you're wearing a girl shirt. Okay.
Wow, thanks for pointing that out. I didn't even notice that.
So.
Okay.
Anyway. All right. Well, apparently one of our quizmasters wore a girl shirt today, and
Dante.
Nobody really wanted to point that out. Okay. We have about 3 minutes before Pastor Scott is going to give his challenge. So this is going to...
This will be my final 3 minutes on the air today.
And by the way, props on all you do to make CITV happen there, Jono. people don't know this, and we said some of this yesterday. You are not only the star of the program, you're the producer, the grunt work man. You carried in the camera and all that equipment. You make it go. Without you, it does not happen. So thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, thank you. Couldn't have done it without great teamwork from the tech team, from help from Matt. It's a great team effort. I'm privileged to be able to be a part of it and be the face of CITV. It's a sad thing when I'm the least ugly person of the group.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So we have people having a conversation with each other, and they're kind of leaving us out, which is probably good because we're not. We have here, and if you've never been, this is a bucket list tournament.
Absolutely.
If you have a Bible quiz bucket list, the things you want to do before you quit working a Bible quiz, come to this tournament. Needs to be on that list.
Come to this tournament. Yeah. Bring your team. If you can't bring your team, come watch. Come eat the great food. Come experience the fellowship. Go up to the mountains. Have a great day on the slopes. Everything that goes with the tournament, you need to come. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it definitely is. So people we're pending interviews with Coach Carl and anyone else that we asked. We asked other people, but anyone else that said they would do it. But
I think Coach Carl's the only one who said he would do it.
Yeah.
We could probably try to get a Zemer.
Well, we've tried that. I don't know if I recommend trying to get Zemer to do it.
We might be able to get a McQuanago. There's been several requests for McQuanago.
Okay. We are right now. We're not going to be able to interview anyone right now. They're all supposed to be headed to the auditorium. We're just waiting. We're looking at a screen. If you keep seeing us look over, that's because we're looking. At the screen.
We're watching the auditorium.
When
screen.
we see Pastor Scott step up to the mic, we will fade out. He will fade in, and that's how that will be. But we will get it, and I think we're even going to pause for station ID in between. Not now,
in between.
Yeah, in between. But that's going to be that. So. We can answer questions, ask Coach Carl if there's any news about a cast tournament this year. There will be a cast tournament. That much we know.
Yes.
I don't know the date, and I don't know the passage. But I know there will be one. The two sections I've heard thrown about are Hebrews 11 through 13 and 2 Peter. I see the request for Stephen Gilmore. He is, if he's being obedient, which undoubtedly he is, he's a good kid, he's sitting in the auditorium waiting for Pastor Scott to step up to the microphone.
Someone asked me what books did I quiz over. I quizzed on and off through the years. Books that I went to major tournaments on were 1st, 2nd Corinthians, Acts, Hebrews, 1st, 2nd Peter, and Romans and James were the ones I actually quizzed in tournaments on. So to answer that question from, forget who asked
Nobody
it.
asked me, but okay.
Matt, what books did you quiz over?
Oh, well, okay. Thank you for asking.
Hey, my pleasure.
Some Matthew, some John, Acts, Romans, 1st, 2nd Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1st, 2nd Thessalonians, 1st, 2nd Timothy, Titus, James with Romans, and that's it.
Okay.
I quizzed in elementary over 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, and
the T's.
Jude. The T's I quizzed on. I mentioned that 1st, 2nd Thessalonians, 1st, 2nd Timothy, and Titus.
Yeah.
I called them by their actual name.
Oh, there you
instead
go.
Of the 5
there
T's.
You go.
So
was I a good quizzer? I was decent Division II quizzer. That's about as good as I ever got.
You were a decent Division II quizzer. Okay.
So Josh Brown is listening. I did beat out Josh Brown in Division II in the top 10. So I just wanted to rub that out to him.
Well, I think it's because you had a yellow shirt. We
did
now see Pastor Scott stepping toward the mic.
I think he's going to begin waving everyone through.
He likes to. Pastor Scott knows how to milk a moment.
He really does.
He now has he's waiting for the people to funnel into the auditorium, and he's coming over here probably to fire us.
Now, Matt, were you a good quizzer?
No, not really.
No, not really.
Yeah.
Pastor Scott, would you like to say a word?
What's going on?
Well, we're taking up the time until you step up to the mic in the auditorium.
Well, I explained to the young people what happened to my ear today. This ear.
I don't know if that's fit for TV.
What it is, it was a World War II accident. I was attacking a group of German soldiers, It was on the Eastern Front.
Were you on a ship with Brian Williams?
And me and Brian Williams, we were in there. But I didn't know. I threw a grenade into that area where they were. It was a tank. And I didn't know they had an attack dog, and it just grabbed my ear. Anyway, plastic surgery, now it came off. So, I'm okay now. But anyway, glad to have so many young people here.
If you're going to get plastic surgery, you might consider other parts of...
I resemble that.
All right. That's Pastor Scott, who in an effort to get people time to hear him as he gives his challenge, is making his way into the auditorium. So, well, he gave the word like 15 minutes ago saying 5 minutes.
Yeah, so it's been a long 5 minutes.
You want us to interview Isaac Callaway? That's what I hear.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Isaac Callaway, we got about 2 minutes to talk to you, so you get a short interview. Here we go.
Isaac, come take a seat, my man. Isaac, welcome to CI TV. We're glad to have you. How's the tournament been for you?
It's good. It started out rough today, but we got better.
That's what Ashley was telling us about that. What do you attribute to flipping that switch around, coming out at first elimination quiz round, taking a low? What did you guys have to do? What did you change? What did you guys say in your huddle and your meetings?
In our first quiz, we tried to jump fast to contend with the other teams, but that's not our game. So in the last couple quiz, we've been slowing down and letting the other quizzers air and getting the toss-ups.
Awesome. So really just kind of stepping off the gas just a little bit, just to give yourself time to hear a little more of the question, not get a little more information for what you're doing.
Right. We didn't want to turn it into a guessing game.
Absolutely. That's awesome. All right, real quick, as I see the line of people funneling in, we'll skip just to our last question. I might have time. I got 2 questions. First, favorite part of the tournament?
The round robin, when there's not a lot of pressure.
Not a lot of pressure, but a lot of quizzing and a lot of questions.
Yes.
Awesome, fantastic. All right, last question. We've been studying the book of Matthew. What's been a verse, a passage, or a lesson that stuck out to you the most this year?
I have to think about that. I'm not sure. I really like the whole book. It's been one of my favorites to memorize.
If you could pick one thing to stick out that's changed the way you live today, what do you think it would be?
I couldn't say.
Tough to pick one passage out of so many. All right. Well, thanks so much for coming with us, Isaac. I'll let you head into the auditorium so you can follow the lead of everyone else. Thank you so much for stopping in. Best of luck to you guys the rest of the day.
Thank you so much. That was Isaac Callaway from Pleasant View, Kentucky. The team who, from henceforth, they will be known as the team who eliminated Athens from this tournament.
I think that's a good way to be remembered at this tournament.
It's definitely a good way to be remembered. Yes. So we have everyone. If you can hear this, you probably need to head to the auditorium and listen to Pastor Scott give a challenge.
So we see Pastor John on stage. So we're going to break real quick, and then when we come back, you'll be in the auditorium. This is CI TV. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys next year.